The emergency sirens wailed through the medical bay of Outpost Zeta 9, a remote human settlement on the edge of Vraxian territory. Hannah wiped the sweat from her brow, her hands steady despite the chaos surrounding her. 3 Vraxian cubs lay on makeshift operating tables, their crystalline scales shimmering weakly under the harsh fluorescent lights. "Doctor, their vitals are dropping," Max shouted from across the room, his fingers flying over the holographic display monitoring the patients. He had been Hannah's assistant for 2 years now, and even he had never seen her work on multiple critical cases simultaneously. Hannah didn't respond immediately. Her eyes remained fixed on the smallest cub, no larger than a human child, its breathing shallow and labored. The Vraxians were apex predators, 7-foot-tall beings with razor-sharp claws and teeth capable of tearing through titanium. Their species had been at war with humanity for decades until an uneasy truce was established 5 years ago. Despite the peace treaty, mutual distrust ran deep. "Increase the oxygen flow by 15%, Hannah ordered, her voice calm and measured. "And get me the xenobiological stabilizer now." Max rushed to comply, his heart pounding. The adult Vraxians waiting outside the medical bay were part of the elite guard, the most feared warriors in the known galaxy. If these cubs died under human care, the fragile peace could shatter like glass. Hannah's hands moved with practiced precision, adapting human medical technology to alien physiology. She had spent years studying Vraxian biology, often working with limited resources and even less cooperation from her own species. Most humans couldn't understand why she would dedicate her life to saving the enemy. "Their immune systems are rejecting the medication," Max said, panic creeping into his voice. "Hannah, we're losing them." "No, we're not," she replied firmly. Her mind raced through possibilities, cross-referencing symptoms with her extensive knowledge of interspecies medicine. Then it clicked. "They're crystalline structures, they're silicon-based, not carbon. We need to adjust the molecular composition of the stabilizer, but that'll take 3 minutes. Get started." While Max worked on recalibrating the medication, Hannah moved to the second cub, whose heart rate had become dangerously erratic. She placed her hand gently on its chest, feeling the unique rhythm of a Vraxian heartbeat, 3 chambers instead of 4, each pulsing at different intervals. "It's okay, little one," she whispered in perfect Vraxian, a guttural language that had taken her years to master. "I've got you." The cub's eyes flickered open, brilliant amber orbs that held an intelligence far beyond its age. In Vraxian culture, cubs matured rapidly, developing cognitive abilities within their first year of life. This one understood her words. "Healer," the cub rasped in its native tongue. "Pain stops." Hannah smiled softly, continuing her work while maintaining eye contact. "Yes, the pain will stop soon. I promise." Outside the medical bay, Commander Thralkex of the Elite Guard paced like a caged beast. His scales rippled with barely contained fury and fear, an unusual combination for one of the galaxy's most decorated warriors. The 3 cubs inside were his offspring, poisoned by an unknown toxin during a diplomatic mission to a neutral planet. "Why did you bring them to a human?" snarled one of his subordinates. "Our own healers." "Our healers gave up," Thralkex interrupted, his voice heavy with pain. "They said the poison was too advanced, too foreign. But I've heard stories about the human doctor stationed here. They call her healer in the outer colonies. Some call her miracle worker." He paused, his massive claws clenching. "She was our last hope." Inside, Hannah worked tirelessly for the next 2 hours. Max prepared compound after compound, each one specially tailored to Vraxian biology. They administered treatments, monitored responses, and adjusted strategies on the fly. Hannah barely noticed the time passing. She was completely absorbed in the rhythm of saving lives. Finally, the smallest cub's vitals stabilized. Then the second. The third took longer. The poison had spread further through its system, but gradually, its breathing evened out and the dangerous purple tint faded from its scales. "They're stable," Max announced, his voice filled with relief and amazement. "All 3 of them. Hannah, you did it." Hannah allowed herself one moment to breathe, to let the tension drain from her shoulders. Then she straightened up and began documenting the procedure. "We did it, Max. Now we need to synthesize enough antidote for the aftercare protocol." "How do you do it?" Max asked quietly. "Everyone else sees monsters. You see patients?" Hannah looked at the 3 sleeping cubs, their chests now rising and falling with healthy rhythm. I took an oath, Max. It doesn't specify species. Life is life, and every life has value. She glanced at him with tired eyes. Besides, these monsters are someone's children. How could I do any less? When Hannah finally opened the medical bay doors, Commander Thralkex nearly knocked her over in his rush to enter. The massive warrior stopped short when he saw his cubs sleeping peacefully, their monitors showing strong, stable vital signs. He turned to Hannah, and for the first time in his military career, he dropped to one knee before another being. "Miracle worker," he said in heavily accented standard. "You have my eternal gratitude." Hannah shook her head, exhaustion evident in her movements. "I'm not a miracle worker, Commander. I'm just a doctor." Thralkex studied her for a long moment, this small human who had accomplished what an entire team of Raxian specialists could not. "My cubs, they spoke of you while fading, called you healer. It is a sacred title among our kind." "I'm honored," Hannah replied genuinely, "but really I'm just doing my job." "No," the commander said firmly. "You are doing much more than that." He gestured to his warriors. "Because of you, Dr. Hannah, the elite guard owes humanity a debt. That is not something we take lightly." As the Vraxians carefully transported their young to the recovery ward, Max stood beside Hannah, watching the unlikely scene unfold. "You know this changes everything, right?" he said. "Word of this will spread. Humans and Vraxians working together, trusting each other." Hannah nodded slowly, a small smile playing at her lips. Maybe that's how peace really begins. Not with treaties or politicians, but with a doctor and her patients. In the days that followed, Hannah's story spread across both human and Vraxian space. The Predator cubs called her healer. The elite guard called her miracle worker. But Hannah continued to introduce herself the same way she always had. With simple honesty and unwavering dedication. "I'm Dr. Hannah. How can I help you?"